Hello and welcome to Underpaid Gamers Podcast. My name is Justin. I'm sitting next to my friend and colleague, Tony.
That's me.
We are the hosts of Underpaid Gamers Podcast, and today we're going to be talking to you about who would win in a video game fight. Cross video games, cross consoles, doesn't matter. One-on-one, who would win in our specific scenario. So, tune in and listen. Welcome back!
Hey.
That amazing intro song. Isn't that just the best?
Yeah.
It is the best.
Oh, yeah.
So, Tony,
Little Kool-Aid man.
you are the Kool-Aid Man. If the Kool-Aid Man was not a big jar and full of Kool-Aid and was actually a human being, you would be that person.
I would argue against that. I used to drink a lot of Kool-Aid. My mom would make it for me.
Yes.
Now, I do not. I haven't had Kool-Aid in years.
I'm so surprised by that. I feel like you're a Kool-Aid drinker.
It's a lot of work.
It is.
To
You,
make
you got to
Kool-Aid.
mix it. And you have
gotta
to
buy it.
You have to buy it. Packets.
I actually haven't seen Kool-Aid in a really long time.
Yeah.
Now that Kool-Aid's not bad, they used to have that mystery flavor.
Mhm.
It was clear.
Yeah, and you never knew it.
You never knew what it was. Well, I think it was always the same, but you never,
But you really don't know, though. It's a mystery flavor.
It's clear, and you're like, this tastes so good.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? Nothing. It's a mystery.
It's water.
It's water. It's really
You don't know-
murky water.
Yeah. Yes.
Anyway, you're going to ask me a question.
I was going to ask you a question. My question to you is...
To me?
To you specifically.
Okay. I'm ready. Hit me with it. Let's go. Right now.
What have you been up to?
What have I been up to?
What have you been up to?
The Huge, as I like to call it.
Okay, can I guess what the Huge is?
Go ahead.
The Huge is either A, playing Smash,
Okay.
B, watching Smash,
Okay.
C, playing uber competitive games.
Okay. I only have three options.
Those
D?
three. D is all of the above.
You know, you hit the nail on the head when you said D, all the above.
Well, thank you. I feel like I know you quite well.
Yeah, even though I've been going through a lot of older Smash tournaments, specifically Smash the Summit,
Mm-hmm.
which we had talked about in a very past episode, and Big House 5, which again got its own episode in the past. There's just some really good Smash going on there, a lot of good competitors. And playing Smash, again, as the usual. And then even Call of Duty I've been playing a lot, which is expected.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
So that's good. Have you been up to anything?
Yes, I picked back up a game that I bought a long time ago.
What game was that?
It is called Darkest Dungeon.
Okay.
I know we've mentioned it on the show before.
Okay.
But my own personal experience with it, just a brief recap, that game is a really dark dungeon crawler.
Whoa!
Dark dungeon crawler.
That's the name.
What? Mind blown. I just realized.
I didn't expect that.
Who knew?
See, when you said Darkest Dungeon, I expected someone like Robot Unicorn from the Adult Swim game.
Oh, dude,
That
that game was legit when we
It was
played that.
crazy.
Remember when we played that? That was so competitive. We were all like, "You can do it the longest," and the music was so good.
And then they made the death metal one. It was the same music, just death metal.
Yeah, I know. It was hilarious.
If you have not played Robot Unicorn Attack, I think is what it's called.
It is. That's what
Just
it's called.
Google it. It's a side scroller where you're a unicorn and you jump, and that's literally it.
Mm-hmm.
But you can like dash through like meteors and things.
Oh, it's so
And
much
it sounds really stupid,
but it's addictive.
but give it like 30 seconds, you know.
And
like,
play with the sound on.
Yes,
You
sound on.
must play with the sound on.
Yes.
So anyway, Darkest Dungeon broke my heart.
Oh,
I had these. You can have right now I have like 18 character slots,
what?
and you can take 4 of them with you on a journey at a time.
That's absurd. 18?
Yeah, you can get more than that.
I don't need that.
I'm not maxed out yet, but every time you go out, you accrue stress for your guys, and they have to like relieve the stress when they're in town. So you can't like take them over and over again.
So when they're in town relieving stress, I assume they're playing video games.
Well, you have choices between lots of different
Video games,
delights.
Books?
Video games is not one of them.
Wow.
You can drink. You can gamble.
I assume Kool-Aid.
You
Drink
can
Kool-Aid.
visit the local red light district, if you will.
Okay.
You can have them pray. You can have them meditate. Or you can have them flagellation, is what it's called. It's when you hit yourself. Like,
What?
those religious people who, like, hit themselves to purify themselves?
Like Monty Python.
Yes.
Bring out your dead.
Yeah. Exactly that.
Okay.
So anyway, I had been working. So usually what happens with
Which
the
one
game,
relieves the most stress?
the red light district and flagellation.
Really?
Yeah, it's like the most extremes of both ends.
Uh-huh.
Of vices and of, like, religiosity, I guess. It's interesting. Either way, if you play the game, you know that you end up, like, going through so many people. Like, each time you come back to town, you have, like, a bunch of new recruits you can pick from. So you essentially have, like, cannon fodder that you just go in, like, one dungeon run with, get a bunch of money and loot, and then you kick them out and just recruit the new people.
So, yeah.
It's free just to transition, because it's not worth it pouring money into recuperating the people that just went on that dungeon for the first time. But you always have that group, that core group that you're like, this is my level up adventurers that over time I'm gonna pour money into them, I'm gonna level them up, gonna give them good equipment, all that stuff. I took some of my good ones, and I was going on one of the missions to slay the boss.
Oh.
And I was so excited.
The dungeon boss.
One of the dungeons. And I went there, and she literally destroyed me in, like, 7 rounds. I was so mad.
I assume 7 rounds is not very many?
I mean, it's longer than 2, and less than 10.
Mathematically correct.
Yes. I would say I expected it to last longer, and it just destroyed all this effort I'd put into the game. So I stopped playing after that moment, because I thought, man, I've really been building up these characters for so long, and now they're dead.
But now you're back into it?
Well, that happened recently. That happened, like, a few days ago.
Okay, so the story of you not playing it, and then picking it up again, and now not playing it.
Right.
Okay.
Essentially, for, like, a week, I played it like crazy, because, like, man, this game is so good. I remember how good this game is.
So much fun.
And then I experienced the darkest part of the dungeon, which is when you lose your people.
Everybody.
That you care about, actually. Because most of the people you play with that game don't care about. Just get rid of them.
Okay.
They can die. That's fine.
Yeah. Death and stuff.
Yeah, it's a pretty dark game.
Hinted by the name.
Yes, we've established
Dark dungeon
by this point.
Darkest dungeon.
So that is what I'm up to.
Darker dungeon?
But today, we are not...
More dark.
Darkest. The
Darkest.
The darkest.
The more darker dungeon.
Yes.
Alright.
The least lit dungeon.
There you go. The dungeon with the most absence of light.
Today,
this
is a
segue
into the real conversation.
Okay.
We are going to talk about who we think would win in a fight.
A fight
to
the death.
Where would they fight? Where would they fight, Tony?
Okay, so I've already came up with the rules.
I know. I was going to see if we could make it original.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Oh, I didn't do my interesting intro to this. I was going to do an interesting one. Can I do it?
Go ahead.
Can I do it?
Go right now.
Have you ever wanted to go to the biggest event in all of mankind history? Have you ever wanted to combine your greatest fantasy, your greatest sci-fi adventure, and your greatest video game experience into one event? Then come to the Super Bowl of video game character fighting! Which is what we're about to do.
Yeah, okay.
So explain the rules.
All right, so the rules are, essentially, it's going to be a one-on-one battle, and we have a list of characters that will battle each other. We tried to make this as fair as possible, also as original as possible.
Yes.
So it's not going to be like
who'd win in a fight, Superman or Batman?
Yeah. Superman versus Goku. No one's ever thought of that before.
Nobody ever.
No. Okay. So what it is, we wanted to do it like a Roman Coliseum.
Yes.
We wanted to make it more modern.
Modern day Roman Coliseum.
The closest thing to a more modern day Coliseum is a football stadium.
It is.
So a football stadium where the seats are completely sold out. So there's someone in every seat.
Yes.
This is a televised event.
It is.
There is power in the stadium. It is in the middle of the day at high noon. The sun's right above you.
High noon. Doolin at high noon.
It is an open-air stadium.
Open air.
So it's completely surrounded.
Mm-hmm.
It's an oval stadium completely surrounded by seats, but you can go above the stadium by at most a mile, and below the stadium, underground by at most half a mile.
Question about the stadium.
Okay.
Turf or grass? Because I can make a difference.
We're new grass.
New grass?
What?
You said new grass?
We're going to do grass.
Okay, grass. Got it.
Grass, as in there is going to be soil and dirt underneath it.
Okay.
Instead of...
So not concrete.
Rubber.
Right, because it's like rubber. It's essentially concrete, rubber, and the turfy stuff.
No. Regular grass, stadium completely full of people, televised event, there is power. There is going to be goalposts on each side.
There it is.
Because it is on a football field.
It is.
There are lines. There's a 50-yard mark. 50-yard. Everything that you'd expect.
So do they start on each zero? Each end zone?
Yes. I think they start on the 0-yard mark on each side.
And is there anything on the field?
Literally nothing.
Okay.
Just normal. I guess we could say there's benches on the side.
Okay.
But nobody else is on the field except for these 2 people.
Okay.
The characters that are fighting can only bring what you would generally think would be equipped by them.
Yes. So, like, for instance, in a video game, you are controlling the main character. Whatever that character has with them at that time, teleport them out of that, put them in our stadium.
Yes, essentially. So an example of that would be like Batman. He has like the things in his utility belt.
Yes.
We also have to make a distinction between which video games.
Yes.
Because there are some old side-scroller Batman games where he only has a batarang and like a grappling hook.
Right.
There are the new Arkham video games where he has like
much more than that. Yeah.
There's also if we're gonna do like if we were to do Fallout 4, the Lone Wanderer from Fallout 4, the power armor is not something that he would generally have with him. That's something that he has to step into a vehicle. So Batman wouldn't have the Batmobile. The Lone Wanderer would not have his power armor.
Okay.
But the Lone Wanderer would be able to carry anything up to 300 pounds.
Which is normal.
Which is normal for him.
Yes.
So things like that. So, to begin with, the first person... What, was that all the rules?
I think so. I think that's it.
Okay.
If not, we'll make them up as we go.
We'll make them up as we go. The first fight that we thought of was the classic Master Chief from the Halo series, specifically Halo 3.
Halo 3, okay.
Versus Saren from Mass Effect.
The evil bad guy from the original Mass Effect.
Mass Effect 1.
Mass Effect 1. Original Mass Effect.
So, Master Chief from Halo 3 can hold 2 frag grenades.
Yes.
2 plasma grenades.
True.
So he'll go in the battle with those. He'll go into
primary
battle
weapons.
with 2 primary weapons. Specifically in this situation, I would assume the most popular one would be a sniper rifle and a BR.
Yeah.
Battle rifle.
Yeah.
So that's what he's going to battle with. He also has, in Halo 3, you had those extra, like mines or
things.
Bubble shields or whatever. This one, I think, will do a bubble shield.
Yeah.
So he goes in with bubble shield, 4 grenades, a BR, and a sniper rifle.
With full ammo and all of that.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
And
Saren,
he's a little bit lucky because in the original Mass Effect game, guns didn't reload. It was heat-based.
It was heat, yeah.
So he
Thermal
doesn't
clips.
have any specific amount of ammunition there, so he has unlimited shots. On top of that, he has some abilities. Johnny, would you like to go into his abilities?
A couple of his abilities would be throw, which is really like a telekinetic throw. You can throw a person, kind of get them off their feet, knock them down. Warp, which is, it kind of decreases armor rating.
Yeah.
And then there's also Carnage, which is kind of like a big old, like, fire blast type thing.
Okay.
So that's kind of what he's doing. He has, I don't know. We'll just go into it. Master Chief, so they both start off on both sides.
Yes.
If you're going to be that far away, I would assume Master Chief would pull out his sniper rifle.
I would assume that that's how it would start.
I don't think Saren's abilities work at 100 yards away from
Right, no, that range, I would say, is too far.
So, and at that range, I think Master Chief has the highest advantage.
He does.
I think Saren would try to close the distance. He'll have to dodge Master Chief's shots.
Right, which would be difficult because it's Master Chief.
Yeah, I think you'd be able to dodge them. I also think he has a lot of health. So I don't think one headshot would kill him.
Right. But he has shields, obviously. And we don't know how the damage of the sniper rifle will affect the shields.
That's right.
In Mass Effect. So, it will do some damage, obviously.
Yes.
But, once they, let's say he takes down some of the shields. We'll say maybe half.
Master Chief?
No, Master Chief takes down Saren's shields a bit. They get within regular range.
So they're like 20, they're like on the 20 yards, so they're like 40 yards between them?
Yes, let's do that.
At that point, Master Chief, I would assume, would use...
he would switch to the battle.
BR.
I would assume.
And then he would also, I would assume he would throw at least one of his grenades.
Yeah. Well,
grenade shot him.
Yes.
But at this range, I mean, Saren also has that Geth weapon. He has a Geth pulse rifle.
Oh.
So that's similar to a BR. So it's not like him just using hands.
Right.
He has a BR, so he can shoot back. And as we know, I believe in Halo 3, whenever you get hit, you get zoned out of your aim down sights.
You do. And
so
that's a distinct difference in the game mechanics. So that gives Saren, I think, the advantage
at long range,
at mid range, with the battle rifle versus the.
But Master Chief's not going to aim down sights with a BR at mid range.
You don't think so?
No, you never aim down sights with a BR.
Okay.
A sniper rifle, you would at that range, but if Saren were to hit him, he would be zoned out.
So he does have a tactic beyond dodging. Then, as he's approaching,
he can hit him and it would take him out.
Okay,
so that's not bad. I assume at this point he would probably use warp. his warp ability.
Yeah.
Which would bring down Master Chief's shields.
Yes.
At that point, the Geth rifle would do more damage.
It would. The question is how strong is Master Chief's armor with the warp on there? Are we going to count that as only he takes off the shields?
I think, let's say it takes off 50% of the shields.
Okay.
So a couple more shots and then he'll be one shot.
Okay.
However, I think Master Chief would know that that's doing damage. He would then try to close the gap and try to melee him. Get closer. At least get closer.
You think so?
A quick melee kill.
I definitely think in close range, Saren has the advantage because he has all those abilities that once within range is very potent. Like you've got the throw. You could toss him out of the way just generally. And when you're being thrown, I don't think you have a lot of skill to aim. You can't really do much. And then also you have the Carnage. We can't forget that.
The big old fireball. I think, though, Master Chief still has the bubble shield.
Right.
And I don't think throw would affect him through the bubble shield.
I don't think it would either.
So I think he would throw down the bubble shield, get into it, and then maybe he would even throw some plasma grenades outside of the bubble shield. At this point, he would almost be taunting and assuming Master Chief is being played by a general player, he'd be teabagging in the bubble shield.
You think so?
Yeah.
I feel like there has to be a body to teabag, though.
Well, you're taunting him. You're teabagging him from a distance, so you're taunting Saren. So I think Saren probably has some melee attacks. And he probably think he could go toe-to-toe with Master Chief. Master Chief is pretty strong.
He is very strong, because I know in his armor, it aids his strength.
Yeah.
It is more than just his human strength, by far.
So I think, and if it was a fist fight, Master Chief would win.
Yes.
However, I think as soon as Saren got into the bubble, he would use his Carnage ability.
Right.
Which is like a big old fireball.
Right.
At this point, Master Chief has already used his bubble shield, has used 1 frag grenade, 2 plasma grenades. His sniper rifle is no longer effective at this range.
Right, so it's down to battle rifles, close range. I still think close range, Saren has the advantage with the ability.
If Saren gets throw, then I think it's over.
Yeah, well, that too, and we're assuming we know how he's going to handle it as well. Like what Saren could do, we know that Master Chief's melee is very dangerous.
Yeah.
So we're assuming that they're going to close,
especially if he gets behind him. But I don't think Saren would.
Right.
I don't think Saren would turn around.
And I also think we need to recognize that Master Chief, once his shields are down, is very vulnerable to damage. Saren actually has a lot of health. Mm-hmm. He has a lot of shields too, but he has a lot of health. And in any character in Mass Effect, it takes a while to kill them through their health as well. Uh-huh. So I think I know what. How do you want to pick the winner here? I think I know who I think would win in this situation that we've presented with Bubble Shield and the frags being thrown. Who do you think would win once it got close?
I think Saren comes out on top. I think Saren has more shields, has more has more health. Mm-hmm. However, if Master Chief kept him at a distance with a sniper rifle, I think you have the advantage. Mm-hmm. And most people that play Master Chief, when they have a sniper rifle, they keep it at distance. Right. Every once in a while, you get that player that gets really close and likes to no-scope and then melee to get the kill. Yeah. If Master Chief's being controlled by someone like that, I think Master Chief doesn't have a chance.
Right. And I would say that I agree with you that I think in most situations, Saren would win that fight. However, it depends on the range situation, because what Master Chief could do is at that initial long-range battle, he could be sniping him, and then as he tries to approach, he could use the grenades as, location management, trying to force him into certain positions or keep him away with the grenades, which would give him a couple more shots.
What if Master Chief grenade jumps himself behind Saren, one-hit melee, over?
That'd be nuts.
Master Chief wins?
I mean, in that situation, yes.
I think Master Chief wins.
I think it just all depends.
I think he would.
Situation. I think
if he does that, he would throw the grenade 10 yards ahead of him, run up to it, jump, and then when the grenade blows up, does a 180, ninja melees Saren in the back of the head. Saren's never seen anything like that before because the melee and Mass Effect sucks.
But what if he sees it coming and uses throw while he's in the air? Master Chief is done.
He double grenades. Throws a grenade at Saren, throws a grenade at the ground. He does that snowball effect. You know how when you're younger, you're in a snowball fight, you have 2 snowballs?
Right.
You throw one high, you lob it so people look up. Yeah. And you throw the other one, you pelt them right in the face.
Yeah, it's a classic dodgeball strategy as well. All right, so I think
Master Chief,
if used by skilled controller,
Master Chief. I think Master Chief thinks more outside the box in this situation.
I definitely think he has a more well-rounded approach to combat than Saren does.
Specifically, if instead of a sniper rifle, he came in with a shotgun or a rocket launcher.
Right.
But I think he always has a BR.
Yes.
Unless we're talking Halo 1 Master Chief.
It's always an assault rifle.
The Magnum, the pistol.
Well, I don't know.
No, you would have the pistol in Halo 1.
Well, his default weapon is an assault rifle. And then his secondary is always the Magnum.
Yeah, but that Magnum is what he's going to use.
I know. Right. Well, I mean,
I think based on snowball lob, grenade, jump, ninja, melee, Master Chief wins. I think if he does literally anything else, he's going to lose.
Yeah.
He has one specific strategy that he wins. I think he does it. This one goes to Master Chief.
Yes, with a skilled player, yes.
Not only that, but think about the stadium. They would go crazy.
Dude, they would be screaming.
If they saw this,
women would faint.
They'd be like, "What?"
Men would pass out.
Instant replay on the jumbotron.
People would be crying.
This would be insane.
It would be crazy. All right,
Master Chief takes that one.
Okay, who's next?
Number 2, we have Gears of War main character Marcus Phoenix.
So essentially, Master Chief with the chainsaw.
Yeah. Versus a Big Daddy from BioShock.
Holy cow.
Now, there are some Big Daddy variations. There's a guy with a big old drill.
Yeah.
There's a guy with a big old rivet gun.
Yeah.
I think for this one, we'll do the original Big Daddy with the big drill.
I think so, too. I think that's the best mashup here in this case. Well, immediately off the bat here, Big Daddy has limited range.
Well, Marcus Phoenix has 4 weapon slots, I believe.
I don't remember exactly the amount.
I never played, but you have.
I know there's an assault rifle, and I know there's a chainsaw on the front of it.
Yeah, he has like a grenade he throws like by the tail type thing that it throws.
Yeah.
Big Daddy. Well, you said someone had an advantage?
I would say that Marcus would have the advantage at long range and mid range because the Big Daddies have a limit. Have limited range. However, if the Big Daddy would be able to maneuver Marcus into a situation where he is cornered or within melee range, I think the Big Daddy's got it.
I think the Big Daddy has so much armor that at range he can probably just walk through shots.
He might be able to. I guess it would depend on the equipment that Marcus brings.
So they're starting at long ranges, so Marcus has an advantage because he gets to shoot at him. But the Big Daddy has that dash attack,
right,
which makes him go super far.
It
so
does.
He's going like 10, 15 yards every dash attack.
Right.
So he's going to close ground fast. And I think the opening cutscene of BioShock, he takes that drill and he goes right through somebody.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's the exact situation that would happen if he got within melee range.
He's going to knock him down and he's going to drill him.
And I think even if Marcus had his chainsaw going at Big Daddy, I think the armor is still thick enough to where it's not going to do anything.
That chainsaw won't do anything to that drill. If it's
like metal on metal.
Yeah.
Like, what's it going to do? Big Daddy's armor is too thick. It's just going to sit on the outside and go clink, 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 clink. Like, I don't know how it's going to puncture the armor.
I think the Big Daddy has like a howl ability that kind of like shakes your screen.
Yeah.
Like
it definitely does, yeah.
Not only that, but the Big Daddy is terrifying.
I was about to say that.
Maybe not so much at high noon in a football stadium.
I would still be terrified if I saw one in real life. Those things are nasty.
Especially if he's fighting for one of the little sisters.
Right.
If he's trying to protect someone.
If there's a stadium full of people, there's going to be little girls in there.
There's going to be little girls.
And he might think the same thing.
Of Marcus. Be like, why is this guy?
Yeah.
And with this, I don't think we talked about it. This is a fight to the death. This has these characters have decided that the only way to get out of the situation is to kill the other person.
Right. That's the only way out.
Yeah.
And back into the video game universe.
Yeah.
And so I think Big Daddy, my money's on Big Daddy in this situation.
I think we're not giving Marcus Phoenix enough credit. Marcus, he has a shotgun.
He does.
He has an AR, so the shotgun...
Well, we have to decide if Marcus can do damage to the Big Daddy. I mean, he's going to have to because in BioShock, they do you can kill a Big Daddy. They're not invincible.
You can, but you have to use your powers. You have to use your syringes.
Really?
You have to use...
Yeah, I mean, well, you can kill him with a gun.
With a gun.
It just takes forever.
And you run out of bullets. I think Marcus would have almost an infinite amount of ammo.
Almost.
As a shooter. I think if somehow Marcus could knock down a Big Daddy, I know that when you shoot somebody, they kind of go down to the ground to which you can execute them. Mm-hmm. If he somehow did that to the Big Daddy, he might be able to chainsaw his way through something.
Yeah.
I assume the Big Daddy's suit is pressurized.
I think it is because when you puncture it, it goes.
Yeah. So whatever that means when he's on above sea level.
Right. We don't know what that effect would be.
The bins is what happens when you're scuba diving and you come up way too quick.
True.
You have your blood will boil in your blood vessels.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe his suit is pressurized for below water, and when he's on sea level, if it gets punctured, he might get the bends, the Big Daddy.
Who knows?
So this one specifically, you're giving it to Big Daddy?
I'm still giving it to Big Daddy, though. I will confess that my lack of knowledge with Marcus is probably part of the reason why I don't have a good tactical idea of what he could do. But from what I understand,
Gears of War is a cover shooter. There's not very much cover on a football field.
That's true. I mean, that is a very valid point with the mechanics. Like, it is designed, like, almost the whole part of the campaign that I played, like, you're riding and all this stuff and, like, hiding behind these little places and you got to shoot over the cover, yada, yada, yada. So I'm going to give it to the Big Daddy, with the exception of if you have a super highly skilled... But I don't even know. Like, I feel like maybe we're not giving Marcus enough credit.
Maybe. But Big Daddy has so much armor.
Right.
But he doesn't get killed by a guy who...
Doesn't have
very much ammo.
Essentially.
Marcus can dodge roll. And the Big Daddy's biggest weakness is almost slow moving. Yeah. Like, he can do that dash attack in a straight line.
But he's not maneuverable.
But if you dodge roll to the side of him, you can shoot him in the back.
Yeah. Is he weak? Is he at weak points?
I
don't remember if he really does or not. It's been a while since I played BioShock.
Yeah. But even if you put enough bullets in him, he'll eventually go down.
He will eventually go down. So I don't know. I might switch over to Marcus. Just because it's such a hard decision to make in this situation.
I think
the lack of cover.
The lack of cover gives Marcus disadvantage. The range gives Big Daddy a disadvantage, but he does have that dash attack. Right. I think if he gets within melee range, he's going to knock Marcus down and drill him to death.
Right.
Which is not something that Big Daddy is unfamiliar with.
Right. He's very experienced in that.
Literally,
in those matters.
Every person he says he's going to drill through the skull.
Yeah.
So, I'll give it to Big Daddy.
Yeah. And I think we can give it to him because of the lack of cover.
If you disagree with us, you can send us an email at underpaidgamerspodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, we love hate mail.
And we can revisit this topic if you think that we completely destroyed it. However, this one's going to Big Daddy.
I think this next one.
Next one was a
suggestion by one of our listeners.
Suggestion by
and friend.
Yes. Go ahead.
Ezio Auditore
from
Assassin's Creed 2 and all of the ones after that.
We have to choose one specific game.
Okay. Well, I didn't play Revelations. I did play Brotherhood. I did play the second one. So I did. It wasn't
Ezio from Brotherhood would probably be the. He's a little bit older. Yeah. He has more skill. Mm-hmm. Versus Geralt, the Witcher of Rivia from The Witcher.
And specifically, I think we should do the newest Witcher, Witcher 3.
Yes, Witcher 3. Okay.
So this situation is much different than our previous ones because the lack of long range. So I think. First off...
Well, Ezio has throwing knives.
He does have throwing knives.
And I think... Does he have a crossbow? And
he might have... Does he have a gun? He might actually have a gun. But it's like a single shot, like, powder...
That might be Revelations. I don't know. Maybe. Ezio was on like half of the Assassin's Creed games.
I know. Either way, as compared to our previous battles, there are no assault rifles.
Yep.
None of that. So they're going to have to get close. Witcher has abilities.
Yep.
He has the signs that he can use.
Yep.
Which give him an advantage... I think in melee combat. However, Ezio has diversity in terms of melee.
Yeah, and ways he can fight.
And ways he can fight. Obviously. This is going to be a hard one.
I think Ezio counters better than Witcher.
I agree with that.
I also think Ezio might rely on a smoke bomb.
He could.
However, the Witcher's senses would render that useless.
Yes.
However, I also think that the Witcher is very unfamiliar with Ezio.
Right.
He doesn't have any information on him, and
you need information.
The Witcher's biggest strength is his knowledge of the things he fights.
And he usually fights monsters. This is not a monster. This is a trained assassin.
Yeah, when he fights people, they're normally poverty-stricken people that don't know what they're doing.
Or they're drunk.
Like, if you fight, like, almost a soldier, they're almost, like, 10 levels ahead of you.
Right.
So they'll always end up killing you. So if he fights someone experienced that's not a monster, I think the Witcher is almost at a disadvantage.
But at the same time, depending on the signs that he uses,
Yeah.
he could get an advantage at close range. My thought process on this is, first off, he could use the Queen one, the Q one, Quinn. So if he were to be hit, it would stun Ezio, which gives him a chance to counterattack.
Okay.
He could also use the slow, like the magical slow area, where you get, if you get in that, it slows his movement.
Okay.
So again, that I think neutralizes some of Ezio's assassin skills because it slows him down.
Well, most of Ezio's assassin skills is coming from behind.
True, and sneakiness.
However, if it's Ezio versus a group of guards, Ezio will take down like 30 of them.
That's true.
Whereas like 2 or 3 guards will take down the Witcher.
Potentially.
I've
been able to play the Witcher and not die from like 3 guards.
I think if Ezio gets close enough to get up on a goalpost,
right,
he'll have an advantage.
Which he definitely could.
He just has to get Geralt close enough.
And the question, too, is, are they going to use just the football field? Or do you think Ezio would run into the crowd and hide?
Blend in.
I
think he might try that, but Geralt still has the Witcher senses. So.
True.
Also, I don't think his wardrobe lends too much hiding in the modern day.
That is true. That is a good point.
But I think the throwing knives is a big, and his crossbow or gun or whatever he decided he had.
But also, the Witcher has a crossbow.
Oh, he does.
But
it's very weak.
It is so weak.
He has the bombs too, but...
Essentially, they have actually very similar equipment.
They do.
With the exception that Ezio has more melee diversity, because he could use lots of different things.
Yes.
He doesn't have to use...
Ezio can pick up the Witcher's sword.
And we know that the silver sword in this case is useless for the Witcher. So it'll have to be a steel sword.
Ezio can pick up... Well, would the silver sword be stronger against the Witcher if Ezio picked it up? Because the Witcher is magical.
That is true.
So if Ezio disarms the Witcher, gets the silver sword, I think that's going to do a lot of damage to the Witcher.
True. I think... I still can't... I don't know how Ezio could handle the signs, though, in melee combat.
There's only so many signs he can do before he has to recharge.
I know. I mean, there's a limit to how quickly he can do it, but it recharges, right?
Yeah.
So he could do it maybe every 20 seconds. Do a sign. Maybe 30 seconds.
Ezio can kill pretty quick. Generally, you get those counter kills, and you can just chain them together. You kill 20 people.
But the Witcher, I don't want to downplay the Witcher's combat skills, because I know, as a player, there's a really high learning curve to using Geralt. But once you get it down, you can be quite effective with it. Because I know when I first started playing The Witcher 3, I had trouble with fighting soldiers and guards.
But a lot of it is like dodge rolling away and like jumping backwards.
Well, and countering in that game is a lot harder than countering in Assassin's Creed.
I think, yes. I also think that Ezio is going to be much more aggressive than anybody that The Witcher's really fought before, other than maybe like a Wraith, because Wraiths are really aggressive.
They are very aggressive.
But Ezio is going to be like dodging. He'll, like, Geralt might take a sidestep back, but Ezio's going to be right in his face again. Like, Ezio's not going to do a big slash,
right,
and then be, like, open for a counterattack. Ezio doesn't do big slashes. He does the small slashes with his hidden blades. And also, Geralt might not know about the hidden blades. Ezio might hide it, it gets real close. Like, he might have a sword fight, or whatever, and then it gets closer, he has a dual hidden blade.
Well, I don't know.
Now, what might be more effective is in Brotherhood specifically. That's when you have all the Assassin's Creed, the assassins, the Brotherhood of Assassins. Right. You have all these people. So it could be argued that these assassins are hidden in the audience. Yeah. And then you do your whistle, and they'll throw like poison eels or whatever at Geralt.
True. But we also haven't taken into account that Geralt has much more equipment than Ezio does in terms of what's in his pack. So we have talked about those bombs, but he also has potions that he's brewed. Okay. That raise maybe his endurance. They might raise his health recharge rate. Okay. Things like that, which we haven't taken into account.
That makes sense.
So
I like where you're going.
I think that with the question of if Ezio would have the Brotherhood with him, I think his potions would nullify whatever advantage that they would give him. assuming that they're not actually actively fighting him.
Yeah.
In which case, it's not a real fair fight one-on-one, because we're talking about one-on-one fights.
Okay. I think almost in any other scenario, Ezio would have the advantage. Like, if they're in that city,
right?
Ezio wins hands down.
All right, and that's why I think in this situation, Geralt would win.
He has the advantage because it's an open plane. It's just an open field.
Right, and he sees him coming, and that's with the disadvantage of not knowing Ezio.
Yes.
And not having a contract on him, not having any information, because that's a big part of being a Witcher, is information. But I think the signs and how it's open in the middle of the day, and it's everything's viewable. It's going to nullify Ezio's sneaking ability, and his stealth attacks.
Yep. You can't blend in with anything.
And I don't think he can get around the signs.
I
think if Geralt would be efficient with his use of signs and good that he uses the right one in the right situation, which if he truly is Geralt of Rivia, he's going to use the right one in the right situations.
So Yurden, you put this sign on the ground and it slows down people.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's only if you step in it.
Right.
I guess it does slow down wraiths too. Yeah, I was thinking, what if Ezio jumped over it?
Yeah, I think it even affects you if you jump over it. I'm sure there's an effective range, but I don't think Ezio would be able to jump over it.
I assume it's dome-shaped.
Right.
Man.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I think if we had made the battlefield like a city, I think Ezio would have the advantage, and I think he would win. But I think in this specific situation with an open field, I think Geralt has it.
Yeah. I think we have to give it to Geralt.
I think so.
The Witcher from Rivia.
There it is. All right, up next we have
some more bare-knuckle brawlers.
Mm-hmm.
The Joker from the Arkham series.
Yes.
Versus Venom Snake from Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain.
Yes.
This includes his bionic arm.
Mm-hmm.
He also has an eye patch.
Yes.
The Joker has... What does the Joker have? I assume the Joker has a pistol.
He usually does.
If this is from... If this Joker is from Arkham Asylum,
yes, he
has the Bane potion. Mm-hmm. If this is from Arkham City, he's sick and withering.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Arkham Asylum Joker.
That makes sense.
Versus Venom Snake. Just all of it from Phantom Pain.
True. Well, in this situation, we do have to decide on the equipment that Snake has. Because he has a huge variety to choose from in terms of weaponry. So, primary, it has to be an assault rifle or a shotgun.
He has two primary slots. You can have that sniper rifle, too.
Well, you can't have two sniper rifles, though.
No.
You can your secondary can only be, it can be a sniper rifle, it can be a pistol, or it can be a launcher, I think. And then the other one can be an assault rifle, a shotgun.
You have two weapons you can put on your back, one on your hip, and then equipment. Is essentially what Snake has.
So what are we going to decide for Snake?
I think he'll have a silenced assault rifle, as for the Huge.
Yeah. The silenced tranquilizer gun.
Yep. His secondary would be that tranquilizer gun.
Yeah. And I would say a sniper rifle.
A sniper rifle. Okay.
But it depends on what mission he's on, because sometimes he'll have the launcher if he's going to take out some equipment. But he might have C4 and stuff.
I think he would have C4. He would probably have a decoy balloon, which is normal. His cardboard box, obviously. Mm-hmm. So I think assault rifle, sniper rifle, both silence, the tranquilizer gun, a decoy blow-up doll in his box. Mm-hmm. I think that's all he gets.
I mean, he also has an iDroid and all his other...
Yeah, the iDroid's not going to do much in a fight, I don't think.
Unless we consider...
I mean, he'll play some 80s music, and maybe the Joker likes that. But.
True. But he could call in a ammo box and drop it on the Joker's head. And stun him. Like classic Snake people do in Metal Gear Solid 5.
Maybe.
Have you ever done that?
But that's out of... that's no longer a one-on-one fight. He's calling an air support.
Well, last time we had Ezio have his guys be able to shoot poison darts.
Well, we thought about it. I thought we didn't want that.
Well, I just said it would be counteracted. That's fine. We don't have to do airdrops. I mean, if we let him do airdrops, then he gets like calling in air support or the artillery fire, and then he wins. So
all right. So somehow, Joker has to get close enough to Snake.
He does, and I think right off the bat, how equipped Snake has, I think in this situation, automatically has the advantage.
Yeah. So how is Joker going to get close enough? Because Snake, he only has a couple shots on those, then the gun is no longer silenced. I don't think silencers necessarily matter in this game.
No, it doesn't.
As we've decided, he already wants to. I think, though, because they both know each other is there, Snake doesn't get that reaction time. Like, you know how when people see you in the game,
right.
you get like that 5-second like
right, you get the exclamation point and the sound. That was really bad, but
then
what it sounds like.
Well, it slows you down. Like, it slows down your reaction time so you get headshots.
Yeah.
I think the Joker already knows he's there. He doesn't get that.
There is none of that.
So there's not going to be a quick headshot.
Right. And it does nullify all of Snake's sneakiness.
Yeah.
His espionage skills.
I think in the Phantom Pain, it's easy to snipe people when they don't know you're there, but the Joker knows you're there. He's also really wiry, the Joker.
He is. So I don't think the sniper rifle is going to be all that effective against the Joker, especially because it is only 100 yards, right?
Yeah.
Like, that is a long way to run, but it's also not that far away.
Yeah. So the Joker has that. You never played the Asylum games, have you?
I have not played the Asylum games, so I don't know how his pistol is. I don't know how long the barrel is. I don't know its effective range. I don't know how strong it is.
I assume the Joker's pistol is very similar to his Bang pistol, where it shoots out the flag that says Bang.
Right.
So I don't think it's a real pistol.
It's not a real pistol. Okay.
So
I'm wondering how the Joker's going to even fight Snake.
Well, he does have the spoiler for Arkham Asylum, which really has been out for like 10 years, and you haven't played it, so
I know.
Your fault.
This is my fault. That's okay.
And the end of Arkham Asylum, the whole point is that Joker goes into the asylum to create a Bane venom.
Yeah.
And then Joker takes the venom. He becomes a huge Bane, like he's like 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
Has like rippling muscles. Has like spikes on his back. He's just a huge creature.
Yeah.
So Venom Snake is no stranger to the supernatural. Mm-hmm. So I don't think he'll be that taken aback by something like this as he fights the Man on Fire and all that stuff.
Right.
But I think as soon as he gets close, the Snake might try to tranquilize the Joker, and the Joker is going to use the Bane Venom and become huge.
Right.
At that point, I don't think Snake's CQC is going to be very strong against the Joker's like ground pound ability.
Right. Well, I think what we can tell from this is that if it were to turn into a melee fight, Snake's gone. Because Snake is not the strongest melee person. I mean, he can grab somebody and throw them on the ground and stun them. And he
Snake
can't
destroys people in melee.
But
his CQC is impeccable.
But not Bane. Essentially, you're talking about Bane. Like, he's fighting other soldiers. That's fine. Yeah. Joker, in this case, if he's taking the Venom, he is not human.
Yeah.
He's a superhuman. So I think if it comes down to melee range, Joker's got it hands down. However, I don't think the Joker is going to be able to get close to Snake. I think he's going to be shot before that. Because he may not be able to snipe him effectively if the Joker, because the Joker's wily, but that's different than getting shot at with an assault rifle in a spray of bullets.
Maybe, but maybe instead of waiting to get close, he uses the Bane Venom at the very beginning, which makes him almost bullet resistant.
Well, to what extent is he bullet resistant? Because if he's invincible to bullets, then he's won. If he can take damage, I still think Snake would be able to.
But Snake does run out of ammo pretty quickly. He doesn't always have a lot.
He does, and
he has a couple.
He has a couple clips. He has a couple clips, but does the Joker turning into Bane make him a bigger target for sniping? I think it does. It takes away the
much quicker.
Is Bane quicker than regular Joker?
I mean, Joker Bane would have to be really quick. He's like 8 feet tall. He's huge. Yeah. He can then take much larger strides.
Okay.
And if he can just like charge at somebody, even if he takes bullets, if they bounce off of him, and almost guaranteed the Joker would use, once he becomes Bane, he would use the goalpost as a weapon.
That's true.
He'd pull that crap right out of the ground. Snake wouldn't be able to. I think, though, when he becomes Bane, I would assume he becomes much more stupid.
Right.
So I think the decoy balloons from Snake would come in handy. Yeah. And the cardboard box, you'd be like, where the heck did he go? At that point, he might have an advantage and get his stealth back. Right. But I don't know how he's going to.
But I think it really boils down to what's the effectiveness of Snake's weapons against Bane Joker. Is it going to do? Does he even have enough firepower to do damage? C4, if he has C4, I think is enough to do some damage. I mean, if it can take out a tank, you can probably take out Bane.
Yeah.
The question is, how could he effectively use it without blowing himself up in a situation like this?
I think he's going to have to use his decoys and use his cardboard box to confuse Bane Joker, use the C4 on him, and then I think we might have a fight on our hands.
Yeah.
But Snake's going to have to use his wits.
I think that's the only way. Assuming that the Joker does the Bane Venom, which I think is the only effective way he's going to be able to fight Snake.
Yeah.
I think he's forced into that decision. I think it's going to rely on Snake's wit to win. And if we're taking this as he's being transported out of the game all of a sudden out of surprise, that's a lot to put on a character or a person to think of on the spot. Like
he has 100 yards to think of a plan. I mean, Snake's a pretty quick thinker.
I suppose. I don't know. That's a lot. I want to give it to Snake, but Snake's winning has so many ifs.
Caveats.
Yeah, so many caveats.
I think the Joker just wins by default. Snake, again, this is another Master Chief scenario where you have to do something very specific to win.
Yeah. And
I don't know if that'll work with the Bane Venom Joker almost versus Venom Snake.
Yeah.
Not only that, but if the Joker gets a hold of Snake and he breaks his arm, he only has one arm left.
That's true. But we also didn't take into account bionic arm because you could have different types of
You just have that shock.
The shock.
That shock ability and the sonar and stuff.
Yeah.
Sonar's not going to help, so hopefully he's bringing the shock to it.
Yeah.
But a small shock like that, I don't think will do much.
That's not going to do anything to Bane, so irrelevant then.
I think I'm giving this to Joker. Venom Joker.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Venom Joker too, but with an asterisk of if Snake had the wits about him and threw a plan together and had all the equipment that we said, I think
You have a fight.
He could pull it off.
Essentially what we're saying is Venom Joker wins with almost easily, but if Snake has a plan, Snake puts up a fight.
I would say 8 times out of 10, Joker wins.
Okay. Venom Joker wins over Venom Snake. The next one.
Yes.
Good old Anduin. Anduin from Skyrim.
The Dragon.
The Dragon.
Dun, dun, dun.
Versus Spider-Man 2.
Your favorite.
From the Spider-Man 2 video game.
There it is.
The Spider-Man that delivers pizzas.
Mm-hmm.
Crawls on walls.
Yep.
Web swings.
Yep.
Punches.
I already know who won.
Who?
And it's not Spider-Man. I know you want it to be Spider-Man. There's no way Spider-Man can take out a full-size dragon.
Explain yourself.
This was my thinking.
Okay.
Spider-Man doesn't have a lot of offensive weaponry, right? I mean, he has his web slingers. He's got his body, right? He's strong.
Yes.
But he's not as strong as a dragon. A dragon has huge amount of mass.
Okay.
Even if Anduin didn't really even want to fight, in this scenario...
They do in this scenario.
Obviously, but even if he didn't want to, and Spider-Man came upon him in this scenario of a giant stadium, I really don't think Spider-Man has enough offensive capability to really do any damage to the dragon.
I think Anduin's going to have a hard time landing a single hit on Spider-Man.
Yes.
With his web.
I agree.
Or with his spider sense.
Yeah.
I believe in that game there's a spider sense that you could counter with webs.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's possible that Spider-Man could web swing and web Anduin between goalposts on both sides.
Yeah.
Spider-Man is incredibly strong in this game.
Okay.
And in most games. Spider-Sense mainly. If it's Anduin who can't get a hit on Spider-Man versus Spider-Man who can get hits on Anduin, even if they're weaker,
right? I
think the person that gets the hits wins.
Okay.
Anduin doesn't have much. Dragons don't have much in that game other than fire breath or ice breath or Fusru-Do breath.
Right, they have some sort of breath attack.
And then they also have when they land, which he is bound to land, as all dragons do in that game.
Eventually.
He has a tail attack, a wing attack, and a bite.
Right.
If Spider-Man can web swing Anduin's mouth shut, that's all of his shouts taken care of.
Right.
That's his bite taken care of.
See, the thing is, though, that's a lot of ifs. Again, because we haven't the tactical advantage of air, being able to be in the air. If the stadium is open air, like I think we said,
then
Anduin has the advantage with height because he can fly anywhere he wants. He can come in with the fire attack. And while Spider-Man is very agile, there are some things he still gets hit. Like in comic books, in video games, he still gets hit by things. So he can't dodge everything. He can't. Name a character that he has fought that has never hit him before. One of the main bad guys.
I don't know. Probably every single one.
Was he hit by Doc Ock?
I'm sure
Was he hit by Green Goblin?
Fought plenty of people that he's never gotten hit by.
See, I don't know. I feel like he can't dodge every single thing. Because the Flash is fast and he can't dodge everything.
The Flash is still learning.
I know, but I mean, like adult Flash even. Sometimes he gets hit. Superman gets hit. Like everybody has to be hit sometime.
What specifically is Andrew going to do that can hit Spider-Man?
Catch him on fire.
Okay,
fire breath.
He has.
How do you dodge fire breath when it fills up the entire stadium?
There's a very specific ability in Spider-Man 2 where you can press like R2 and L2 at the same time, and you shoot out a web, and then you grapple from it, and it pulls you. So like you jump through the air, and it pulls you super quick. So if you get Spider-Sense that he's coming down with a hot fire breath, hot fire Tabasco breath, you can R2 L2 against a goalpost, and immediately get over there. You're out of range. And then Anduin, his fire range only has so much range. He has to come close to the ground to use that. You can web swing him. You can web his tail to like a goalpost, and then he can't go very far. And then using that, it slows him down. Unless you think that Anduin can just fly away through Spider-Man's webs, which aren't that strong, which is ridiculous.
Well, his webs are ridiculous. His webs are strong.
I take this personally.
Yeah, I know. I can tell you're getting flustered over here. I do think, yes, Spider-Man's webs are strong. But in your scenario, you said tie it to the goalpost. If he's flying and he's a full-size dragon, he's going to pull that goalpost right out of the ground. Yeah,
but in Skyrim, when dragons are flying, they don't generally fly that fast. You can shoot them with arrows.
Right.
Also, are you forgetting about the kill cams, as we can call them, when the Dragonborn kills the dragons? He literally climbs on the back of their neck and slices them with a sword. If someone as clunky as the Dragonborn with 300 pounds of armor, heavy armor, can clamber onto a dragon, Spider-Man, who was like 150 pounds and super acrobatic, can get on this thing, no problem.
Okay.
No problem.
Yeah, but was he going to karate chop his head and cut it off?
He can punch him super hard.
He can punch him super hard, but the problem is he has dragon scales. He can fly him into the ground. He has dragon scales.
His eyes are open.
So he's going to poke him in the eyes.
Yeah. Why not?
Well, what if the dragon just has him on the back and then drops straight on top of him? On Spider-Man.
What do you mean?
It could crush the spider.
So you think Spider-Man will get on top of him, and Anyone will fly up, do a 180, like turn up on his back and just fall into the ground?
I mean, maybe.
In Skyrim, if you hit a dragon enough times with an arrow, he will fall out of the air and land hard on the ground, and it will do damage to him.
Eventually.
Anduin will hurt himself doing that. Again, Spider-Man, he has no way of keeping Spider-Man on top of him. Spider-Man
doesn't have any piercing abilities. He's not going to be shooting arrows at anybody. He doesn't have metal.
You can punch a dragon to death in Skyrim. You don't need anything to pierce it with.
You can punch him to death, true. But everything
you've said so far can punch someone, Spider-Man, who has like 10 times more strength.
You're never going to even concede a point.
I'm not.
You're basically making Spider-Man invincible, is what you're doing. You're saying you can't hit him, you can't do anything against him. So,
listen.
I'm giving it to Anduin just out of spite for you.
If we specifically go to Skyrim, what is the Dragonborn's biggest weakness against dragons?
What is Spider-Man's weakness against dragons?
No, what is the Dragonborn's weakness against dragons? Against Anduin?
I don't remember. I don't know.
If you're fighting a dragon, just think about it. If you're fighting a dragon, what are you trying to avoid? Trying to get hit?
Right.
So you don't die?
Right.
And what's the biggest cause of you getting hit? Being slow and not moving. You think Dragonborn is more or less agile than Spider-Man?
Probably less.
Probably less agile.
Okay.
And even every once in a while, you can fight a dragon without getting hit because their moves are so predictable.
All of them,
you don't even need a spider sense.
But this isn't just any dragon. This is Anduin, one of the ancient ones. All the dragons you fight in Skyrim are like these little baby crappy dragons. This is Anduin we're talking about.
You kill Anduin. Spoiler alert.
I know you do. It's like the end of the game. It's like the end of the storyline. Yeah, you kill him as the Dragonborn, who has a sword and sharp things that can break dragon skin and dragon scales. You've made dragon armor. You've made all these things. You have magic.
You can fight
This is my problem. This is my problem.
Okay.
Is the only thing that Spider-Man can do to even hurt the dragon is punch him.
And kick him. You're forgetting about his feet.
Kick him and punch him. And almost all the situations of people who play Skyrim who are fighting dragons, they're using some sort of weapon that is strong enough to pierce or damage him. And I feel like Anduin could just fly away if he really wanted to with Spider-Man.
He can only go so far. What do you mean fly away?
I mean, what do you mean by Spider-Man being able to fly away when Anduin comes in with fire breath?
We specifically went over this. Spider-Man has this ability to where he can web zip, I think is even what it's called, is well heal.
Right.
Essentially, the webs are elastic, so he'll latch onto something and he'll pull it, and it'll like slingshot him.
Well, here's another situation. What if Anduin uses the people in the stadium against Spider-Man? Because that's a whole other thing. Anduin is a large dragon.
Okay.
We're in a stadium. Spider-Man saves civilians' lives.
Sure.
Right? Full of people, giant dragon. Breathing fire, destroying things with his tail.
See, we have never said whether the people are off limits or not in this, which I think is a very specific rule.
So we're saying now, because we're talking about Spider-Man, that I always assumed that they were part of
it,
area.
so they can just kill whatever they want.
So they're not invincible.
Okay, there's not like a force field or anything?
I mean, I don't think there isn't. We said a modern-day stadium, and if you want to make it futuristic, then we could say there's a force field.
They're not impervious to...
They're not impervious, I would say.
The battle is still Spider-Man versus Anduin. I think Spider-Man might go out of his way to save people.
Right. And you don't think that would make him vulnerable?
But, as we have said before, there cannot be anybody else on this field other than the two fighting.
True, on the field. But we never said that they couldn't go into the stands. We actually said that they could. Ezio could go into the stands earlier, but we said it would probably be ineffective since he looks so freaking different than modern-day people.
But no matter how many people Anduin kills, he's still not beating Spider-Man.
But it makes Spider-Man more vulnerable. That's what I'm saying.
But if Anduin's going to take the time to take his eyes off of Spider-Man, I think Spider-Man's agile.
He doesn't need to take his eyes off Spider-Man. He can whip his tail around.
So he's on the ground now? I think Anduin's biggest disadvantage is when he's on the ground. Or
he flies and breathes fire on the people on the stands.
I think at that point, Spider-Man can almost even web zip onto Anduin and then ride him around and punch him in the eye.
Here's another situation. What if Anduin flies so high that Spider-Man can't breathe?
At what point can you not breathe anymore? What's the height?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure
above or below a mile?
Well, I have no idea. I really don't know. I don't know where the oxygen level is, and I feel like if it's like the Iron Man situation that Iron Man uses against the other guy with like the freezing, Obadiah.
Yeah,
he takes him way up in the air, freezes him, and then he's done.
So planes,
Anduin does that.
Planes fly at 30,000 feet.
Yeah, which is more than a mile.
Much more than a mile.
Right,
and they need to be pressurized.
True.
A mile above is 5,280 feet.
I think so.
It might be thin. Denver, how high is Denver?
Mile high.
They call it Mile High City.
That's true.
So, no higher than Denver. Maybe the air is thin, but I don't think it's going to knock them out.
But what if we were doing this in Denver?
2 mile high.
I don't know. I'm giving it to Anduin.
We said it's sea level.
I'm just giving it earlier to Anduin out of spite to you. So.
At Big Daddy, we said sea level.
I don't even care your argument.
And Anduin
wins just because you're so adamantly for Spider-Man.
You made this personal.
No, you made this personal.
No,
you were freaking out over there.
I'm arguing for my man, Spider-Man.
I know. You made it personal. I don't even like Anduin.
But
I freaking killed Anduin.
You haven't really... I think Spider-Man wins.
I mean, every argument I've said, you've failed to concede anything, and I've conceded so much stuff.
What have you conceded? You haven't conceded anything.
Are you kidding?
I'm not.
Spider-Man's is strong. He could punch him. He could kick him. Oh, Spider-Man has really strong webs that could probably, keep him stuck, right? Remember
no, you said he could fly away because dragons fly really fast.
But no, I said he could fly and it would pull the goalpost out because you said, oh, he attached to the goalpost and then he can't go anywhere. Like, no, he can't. He's a freaking dragon. He would just drag it out of the ground, showing that the spider webs are strong.
They are strong.
Exactly.
That's
so I did concede a few things.
That's fact.
Either way.
Spider-Man wins. Okay.
Anduin wins. Here we go. Next up, I think we should do this one next.
Oh, this one?
Yes. This one I came up with. It is a stormtrooper versus...
A regular stormtrooper from which video game?
We'll say Battlefront 2.
Okay. You don't want to do Battlefront, the newest one, by DICE?
No. Because I don't... Well, I mean, we could. I guess we can. It doesn't really make much of a difference. In the solo play, they're just as bad as what they are in Battlefront 2.
Stormtrooper from Battlefront from DICE and EA.
Okay.
2015 Battlefront.
Okay, and then... Versus...
a Call of Duty multiplayer...
Rando. Just a rando.
Just a random person
Which
that you
means
get on
they
a team.
suck.
When you're playing Team Deathmatch, it's the person that's most likely going 0 and 20.
Yeah, that person.
That person.
So essentially...
a Stormtrooper versus a 0 and 20 team.
Now, let's just start off by saying this is an embarrassing fight.
Okay.
This is like the Philadelphia 76ers going 0 and 18. That's like what this situation is going to be like.
So the Stormtrooper clearly can't hit anything.
I mean, not at 100 yards.
Not at any yards.
Right. I mean, he has to be pretty dang close to kill anybody.
Yeah.
We know he's going to have a blaster. He's going to have I think it's called the E11 blaster. I can't remember. It's in Battlefront. The standard issue blaster for them. He's going to have a thermal detonator.
Okay.
Which recharges, so he could do it multiple times.
That's true.
Normal Stormtroopers don't have a jetpack, so I don't think he's going to have that.
Okay. Just a random Stormtrooper, not somebody that's controlling him.
Right, just a random one. Usually they have a thermal detonator, an NPC one, probably a thermal detonator, probably standard issue blaster, and I think that's pretty much it.
The biggest advantage the Call of Duty, your Call of Duty multiplayer teammate has, is for the other team. They literally just run in and feed kill streaks for the enemy. So
we know that this person, first off, is going to be sprinting all around the map.
Yes.
He's not going to...
Luckily, there's no corners to sprint around.
That is true.
So he almost has an advantage since there's no corners.
I guess so.
Big open field.
I guess so.
If you want to give them a standard Call of Duty class, we can assume they have an assault rifle.
Yeah.
They have a concussion grenade. Maybe 2 concussion grenades.
And
a frag grenade.
And a frag. Yeah.
And probably a pistol secondary.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
So we'll do that.
Okay. So I think immediately in this case, we know the noob from Call of Duty is not going to be trying to do this at long range.
I don't think the noob from Call of Duty knows anything about ranges.
Yeah, I don't think he understands that. I also think he's just going to sprint right out of spawn.
That's true. He's going to spawn and he's going to just go for it.
He's going to start sprinting. Stormtrooper, in this situation, is probably going to take a little bit of time just to see the guy. Because I don't know if you know...
You can't see out of those
things. Really can't see out of those things, as talked about by Luke Skywalker. So we know it's going to take him a little bit of time just to identify the target. True. But we know as soon as he does, he's going to start firing, which is pretty ineffective. But he could get lucky.
But the Call of Duty noob will do the same thing. He's going to fire... Probably without aiming, and probably just outline the Stormtrooper.
Perhaps. And we know...
Most likely.
And we also don't know the effectiveness of bullets from Call of Duty to the armor of Stormtroopers. I'm assuming there are weak points. I'm assuming all the black areas, like in between the white armor, would be like the weak points. So I think he would be weak. I think he has some resistance to projectiles.
Okay.
But I don't think he is impervious to
I think eventually the Call of Duty... noob will get frustrated and probably just turn the sensitivity all the way up and 360 in the middle of the field.
That's probably going to happen. Also, we can't forget the raging, and there might even be a rage quit in the middle of this, so his character might just stop.
Ooh.
In which case, the Stormtrooper has a distinct advantage.
Well, assuming that a Stormtrooper can hit a stationary target.
Right, and I think we're going to have to take one out of, I guess this is from Battlefront. So they occasionally do get kills. They really do. If we look at A New Hope, we know that at stationary targets, like the Sandcrawler in Episode 4, they are able to be precise at a large stationary object. Obi-Wan specifically says.
Only Stormtroopers can be this precise.
Exactly. So, we know at stationary targets, they've got a better shot.
But that's the movie Stormtrooper. That is not a Battlefront.
That is true. So, it definitely is more like a secondary.
There was a video when Battlefront first came out, maybe when the beta came out, of someone who did it's like that single player
the survival mode.
Defense.
Yeah.
The Stormtrooper
he literally could not kill him.
He just walked right up to him and the Stormtrooper shot all the way around him. And they said, look at how realistic they made this compared to the movie. So there's physical evidence that the Battlefront Stormtroopers are awful.
It's true. At least on that level of difficulty. We did not define which level of AI this is going to have, which I would guess normal.
Yeah.
Which is probably going to be pretty bad.
Which is probably what that was.
So this is hard. I think the only way the Stormtrooper is going to be able to kill him is if he uses the thermal detonator. Because
randomly?
But AI they will actually throw it at you.
Yeah.
and the noob may not see it and probably run straight at it. He probably thinks it's like a pickup or something. I don't know.
I think this might go on for a very long time.
It would be annoying. People would go to the concession stands, I think.
I think probably eventually the Call of Duty player will get frustrated, turn the sensitivity all the way up, 360, and then probably rage quit.
I think the rage quit's actually what's going to do it.
And then the thermal detonator, he'll get a lucky one,
yeah,
and it'll blow up. So either the Stormtrooper wins, or it's just an indefinite draw.
Right. I really think that's what's
neither one can hit them. It is very, very seldom that someone on my teammate goes like 0-20.
But it happens.
But more often than not, they'll go like 3-39.
Right.
So they'll get 3 kills. So as long as 5% of the bullets they shoot hit the Stormtrooper, while it might be the longest match ever, I think they both have a possibility for winning. But I think the most likely is going to be a draw scenario. Yeah,
I think so too. And I think it has to do with the emotion of the noob, the rando, and also the ineptitude of the common Stormtrooper.
Yep.
Man, that was a fun one.
So official rating?
So official rating is a draw.
Draw. Battlefront.
This is good.
2015 Battlefront Stormtrooper versus a Call of Duty multiplayer teammate is officially a draw. It's our first draw of our official video game fight night.
And I think that is going to draw us
to a conclusion. Wow.
To a conclusion.
Look at that.
So, thank you guys for listening and putting up with our banter and Tony's ridiculousness with Spider-Man. We would like to hear back from you and know what you think about all this situation, because we know we're pretty biased in all of our opinions about all of these characters, from our own experience with them, how much we played with them, if we actually liked the characters, all that. So please send us an email at underpaidgamerspodcast@gmail.com.
We're on Twitter at UPGamersPodcast.
We're also on SoundCloud, so you can comment specifically on the section that you would like us to know you're talking about, and we'd love to continue the conversation with you. So thanks for listening. Please rate us, like us, 5-star us, comment, share, show your mother, give it to your brother as a gift for his or her birthday. Boom, bada bing.
Hey, brother, I gave you this free thing.
It's the best.
It's the thought that counts. I'll give you these 2 voices inside of this little box.
And they are so pleasant.
Anyway, we would love to do another episode like this. If you have any ideas of things you would like to hear us talk about, 2 characters you'd like to hear us talk about, whatever, email us, tweet us, comment on SoundCloud, share us, get this. We want to know.
We just want to know what you think.
We want to know. If you disagree with anything that we have talked about, let us know. And if you have any other ideas, let us know. Thank you so much for listening.
Fare thee well.